Dad was an architect in Manchester for a while. I guess I inherited his ability to draw, his love of computer systems. So that married with drawing has sort of led me to my career choice.
I grew up watching Grand Designs. I designed things from extensions for the house. So it's really something I've been interested in since I was young.
Sculpture was something that I had aspirations to do when I went to art college, but I felt that in the end architecture provided me more opportunity to make a difference to people's lives.
Design was always a passion of mine. That's always been a huge interest to me, and architecture seemed to be a good fit.
My skills related more to kind of crafts and making things with my hands, and art's been such an integral part of my upbringing that it kind of naturally led me into architecture, because it's a combination of creating something from nothing but also having your own artistic interpretation onto it. That's kind of what led me to architecture.
It's something that I've always wanted to do since I was a kid. The only thing I've wanted to become before an architect was an archaeologist, and that was because of Indiana Jones.
The great thing about Acres is that we deliver projects. You can see them build. We're involved in the entire process, from dealing with the clients to seeing them in their building at the end of the day.
It's a relatively small size practice, and it allows you to take a project from the very beginning to the very end of construction.
So it's an opportunity to bring my experiences from working in sort of unique environment of Hong Kong and sharing those experiences with the more junior staff in the office.
I think it was mainly because of the size of the practice. I've worked for larger practices previously, and working for such a small practice, you take on a lot more responsibility, and I feel like I needed that challenge.
Acres Architects looks like they've got plans for the future. It's a good practice, so I'm just looking forward to the challenge ahead, getting involved with some really good projects, some really high-end projects, and being able to have my sort of influence on the projects and moving them forward.
I'm looking forward to scaling up. I'm looking forward to winning and working on bigger and bigger projects, and also looking forward to growing the team and improving our skill-based offering and encapsulating those skills into the studio to offer back to clients.
Roman Koolhaas is a very identifiable style, and where I worked in China and Hong Kong, there's a lot of architecture in Shanghai and Beijing that I saw.
It's the studio that previously used to be Ian Simpson Architects, based in Manchester, now called Simpson Hough. I was a huge fan of the Beetham Tower. I watched it being literally built while I was studying to be an architect in Manchester. I've had friends who have gone to work at the studio, and I've been a great admirer of all Ian and Rachel's work ever since.
This one's easy for me. It has always been Charles Rennie Mackintosh, a Scottish designer. He sort of represents the title architect more than anyone that I know. Just because back in them days, architects were responsible for a lot more than they are now. So they could design everything from, you know, the carpets to the little architraves, the door handles, and that for me is inspiring, just being able to design everything.
I have a favourite one at the moment called Alexis Dornier, who works in Lombok in Indonesia, and he works a lot of like cross-laminated timber and timber structures and things, and he creates some really cool fluid shapes from timber. So using the actual materials and resources that he has, the designs and actual buildings that he produces are phenomenal.
The work of Jean Nouvel has always interested me. Recently he's done the Philharmonie de Paris, an orchestra building in Paris. He's also done quite a lot of Islamic influenced architecture. He deals a lot with facades. He likes to play with facades and with light. And also viewing a building not just as an object itself, but viewing it in terms of frames looking at the building and frames from inside the building looking out of the building. So I'm interested in these kind of notions of architecture.
I don't really have a favourite architect per se, I just have interests in architectural styles, and that changes over time. So at the moment I'm really into the high-tech architecture, like structural expressionism, that kind of stuff. But at work I've been exposed to a lot of like contemporary modern houses, which I'm becoming more and more of a fan of.
Probably Georgian style countryside home, but lots and lots of land, and probably an underground garage that can have 100 cars in it.
I think between now and when I'm at a point to be able to design my dream home, a lot's going to change technology-wise, build-wise, trends-wise. So as long as it's got sea views, a nice walk to a beach or a pub, yeah, I think that's all I want at the moment.
An earth-fired building, so actually using the materials of the site itself, moulding it in an earth construction, stuffing it full of firewood and setting fire to it, and firing it that way because the clay buildings would last forever. It was a theoretical idea I had when I was at university, but it's a theory that should work in practice.
Everything automated, everything sensor-based, everything that would make my life easier once I'm inside.
Somewhere where me and my family can meet up. 5 or 6 bedrooms big in the country, no neighbours, detached house. And then it's somewhere where we can meet up on weekends and holidays and like bring our families with us. That's probably my dream house.
Not too big. I like cosy small spaces, definitely with a log stove, with an armchair. Grow old in that. In my second year of university at Uni of Nottingham, we had the opportunity to design a nursery and go down to South Africa and build it. It was incredibly inspiring. The kids were just waiting, anticipating until they could actually go into the space. But it's incredible. We got to see some of the kids like play around, some of the teachers, and they all sang for us. Oh, it was incredible.
I'm bilingual. I speak Arabic.
Anybody has the misfortune or fortune to land at Delhi or Mumbai airports, they'll see an air traffic control tower. And that will be a design that I put together. So those 2 air traffic control towers are designed by myself.
What people in the office probably don't know yet is that both me and my family are lifelong vegetarians.
In my first year of university, my professors actually suggested that architecture wasn't for me. And I tell you what, I'm glad I didn't listen to them.